Okay, I think we're going here. Uh, Hey everybody. Today we're going to try to use TinkerCAD for the first time. I actually haven't used it before. And if I haven't talked about this before, I actually do miniature wargaming. I play a game called War Machine, uses little robot guys like this. And one of the things you use in the game are these little tokens to mark various things. And I just measured one. They're about 17 millimeter discs, and they're designed in a way that's kind of nice. I probably shouldn't make replacements, but they have little indents in them, and they stack rather nicely. And one of the things I wanted to do the moment I got a 3D printer was to make custom ones. For instance, with the army I play, there are various abilities and things that you can only ever use one of at any given time. And it would be really handy instead of using, like they have these larger ones that you can use dry erase markers on. It would be really handy to have uh, customized ones because you can only ever have one of any given ability in use at any time. So, what I want to try to do today is use TinkerCAD to make some very simple, I mean, this is going to be simple the first go around, but make some very simple tokens to kind of replace these generic ones with some more specific things. And like for the army, again, with little robot dudes, uh, for the army I play, I only need, um, I think three. There's only three different ones, and they should be fairly simple. It doesn't need to be anything complicated. Hi guys in chat that are streaming in already. Uh, but we'll go ahead and switch our screen here, and here we go. And you see here, this is the main page. I think it's the main page. Yeah, the main page of TinkerCAD. And you do, from what I understand, need to make an account. And I already did that. And you see, I have my stupid little logo here. And like I said, this is the first time I've ever used this, so don't laugh. Don't laugh. I assume we're going to go to create new design, and like I said, I'll switch back. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to try to make a disk. These first ones we make don't need to interlock or stack or anything. And I have my ridiculously cheap little micrometer or caliper things here. And it looks like these are 23 millimeters. I guess we don't really need to recreate what is there. But we're going to try to lay out like a little oval with some inlaid text in it. So let's go ahead and try our best to do that. And I put the word out to the MK2 group and a couple other places because I know for a fact there are guys that I interact with that know how to use this better than I do. So hopefully some of those guys will show up and throw me a bone here. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is want to get our basic shape. And I'm lost already. I guess let's look at the interface here. It looks like we have some movement and zoom commands for zooming in, but I can zoom with my mouse wheel, and if I right click, I can manipulate the work surface here. So that's straightforward. There we go. Here's some basic shapes. So we're going to start with a circle, basically. All right, that's simple enough. We'll drag a cylinder in here. And the color doesn't matter. I guess that's just for keeping your design kind of organized. And the first thing we want to do is kind of change the size. And how does it appear that we do that? So it looks like we're 20 millimeters by 20 millimeters. And I said this piece we started with was 23, I believe. Yeah, about 23 millimeters, and that's an okay size. So let's go with that. And we'll see if we can make it kind of oblong. And kind of make an oval. Yeah, there we go. So I can envision that. Like we have our little oval with a little bit of text here, and if this doesn't end up being too difficult, we'll try to make it a little fancier. Now for thickness, it looks like the piece we're trying to recreate is about 3.5 millimeters thick. And it looks like we're quite a bit more than that right now, so we'll go with 4. We'll make it a solid little piece. Okay, so this is easy enough. All right. Hey guys. Hi, Matthew. I am not a sexy beast. I am not at all a sexy beast. That's why it's better for everybody if I just do the screen cap instead of putting my face on here. Okay, so here's our basic shape. I guess that all went faster than I was expecting. Let's see. Oh god, do we really need to do letters like this? Oh no. I was hoping we could just type on here. Okay, I mean, if that's what it is, that's how it's going to be, I suppose. I guess the most difficult one that we have to do will be the first token will have to say reconstruct. And so there's our letter. And it looks like we can... Oh, that's the wrong direction. Uh-oh. There we go. There's the correct axis. So that's the correct orientation. And now we just need it quite a bit smaller. Oh no. It looks like if we hold shift, we can do it and maintain the aspect ratio. So that's approximately the size we want. Now we just kind of need it up. It looks like if we drag that arrow here, we can bring it up. Okay. All right. This is going to look ridiculously plain, but looks like we're making progress. I think it's going to be a bit of a challenge to get the entire word reconstruct on there. So maybe we'll just go with recon, R-E-C-O-N. And I guess we're going to have to manipulate every letter the same way. Let me just get them all out here on the work surface. So there's R-E-C. I'll turn it around. And then there's our O. All right, and an N. Okay, and then how big is this one? About 3 millimeters. I guess we can square it up. Maybe not. All right, it's approximately 3 millimeters. So let's get this down to about that size. I don't know. Like, there might be an easy... If anybody... how about you, Matthew, in chat? Have you had any experience with TinkerCAD? There is probably an easier way to do this than manually sizing these. I guess that's about the right size. Okay, so there's our N. Let's squish our E down. Get it in the ballpark here. Oh, we need to bring it up. Looks about right. Okay. So there's our E. Scale our C down. Bring it up to the correct height. And do the same with our O. Again, we'll just get them close and then kind of fine-tune it here. Okay, so they're all about the same height? I guess they're all the same height. It doesn't look like it. Hey, what's up, guys in chat? Let me see what you guys are saying. But I did the tutorials. Yeah, that would probably have been a good idea for me to do, is to do the tutorials. I don't know if we can't quite get them lined up because they're scaled differently. Maybe that's the problem. Let's try to get them... This grid, we need to change the grid, the lock distance, I think. What did we do here? We changed the align tool. Maybe this needs scaled down. Maybe that's it. Yeah, that's the correct scale there. Okay. Maybe we'll be able to get them on the same plane by doing that. Kind of do this the hard way. Kenny said, just use the ruler. I don't know that, actually. Let's try to get oriented properly here. Oh, there it is, the snap grid. Okay. We'll leave the snap grid on, but change... Yeah, that'll give us a lot more control. Okay. That'll be a little bit better. And I think our E's about the right size to our R. I think the C needs to be up bigger. That's probably about right. That's about right. And we'll check our N to the E. It looks about right. Close enough. Like I said, this is just going to be like a quick, trying to get myself oriented with the program a little bit. Okay. Now we need to change our height. Maybe we can tweak that better since we changed our snap. So that one is, I guess, telling us it's 3.75 millimeters from the work surface. So maybe we'll put them... Yeah, that looks like that is what that dimension is. Okay. Simple enough. Looks like we got them all there. Our spacing looks acceptable. I mean, this is kind of an ugly token, if we're being honest. Oops, don't want to do that. We want to change the thickness of this. How did we do that? I can see, it appears like we can't, like I was trying to bring the bottom up and then maybe put the entire grouping back down, but it looks like we'll have to do it this way. We'll thin that out a bit. And then we can select them, like holding shift allows me to select them together. So, something like that. Interesting. Okay, like I said, that's uglier. Aaron asked, have I put a ruler down yet? I have not done that. How do I do that? Is that one of the items over here? Components, no. Helper, Interesting. Oh, I see. Okay, so this is giving us dimensions in relation to the ruler that we set here. That is kind of handy. And you can see there, it's telling me, I assume this is the distance from the y-axis 0. Yep, okay, yeah, that is handy. That makes a big difference. I mean, it looks like we already did it the hard way, but... now the question is, can we come in here? Yes, we can. Okay, fantastic. So we can come in here and manually edit these values. That one's round, so we probably don't want it at actual 0, but like this n here. There we go. Yeah, that makes it easy. Okay. Positions, yep. Yep. Okay. So, like I said, this is my first time in TinkerCAD, so kind of bear with me. Those of you who just joined us, I play a game called War Machine, and it uses these little, it's a tabletop war game, uses little robot guys, and they sell the game with these kind of generic default tokens, and you're actually supposed to use a dry erase marker and write your things on them. But like I mentioned, for the warband I play, there are only 3 different spell abilities I have, so it seems kind of stupid to be like using a temporary solution when I just need 3 tokens that are kind of like specific to the abilities I'm using. So that's what we're trying to do here. Let me see. I guess I could come up with a better solution here. Give me a second. Okay. So we can kind of see what we're doing. It doesn't seem so disconnected. If I turn the letters to holes, how do I do that? Nope, that's not it. Holes are part of the color options. Oh, I see. Oh, it's like staring me in the face. Okay. So let's, I'll change that back and see if we can select all of these at the same time and do that. And then I assume we'll just bring the Z height down. Now, I guess Aaron's like the resident expert. He's had way more experience with this. Yes, and we'll go ahead and group them. Now, if I leave this like this, will that actually create recesses here, or do I have to like with most CAD programs, I'd have to do some kind of command to remove them from that? Group them with the plate. Oh, okay. All right, so we're going to ungroup those and get the height set correctly. I would assume I'm going to need to leave the top surface of these letters above the top plane of this this oval. Oh, that's actually fairly easy. Okay. All right, still looks ugly, but at least we're making progress. I wish you could... Is there any way to change to wireframe? Just out of curiosity, I would assume not in a program this simple. So what we'll do is, I guess we'll change the height of these. I guess I need to get it out here so I can see it. So we'll change the depth of these so it's not such an extreme recess. And is this the, we'll change this to 0.51. Maybe that'll get us just above. So when we do the group, no, that doesn't look like that's actually. I lost my R. Do we have an undo? Oh, we do have an undo. Okay. Let's try like 0.55. And then select everything again and group it again. Oh, it looks like it actually looks like it undid quite a bit of stuff, unfortunately. So let's group these again, fill them with whole. And then, yeah, that's more like I'm looking for. Yeah, Xanax. Xanax said Fusion 360 for the win. Yeah, I've used quite a few other CAD programs before, but I know a lot of people use TinkerCAD just because it's a free like web interface kind of program to do simple things. So I thought we'd give it a try. The next, I guess that's basically that's like the basic foundation of what we want to do here. I guess now we'll just try to elaborate on this design. And my question would be, how hard is it to make gears in this program? Maybe Aaron would know something about that. Like, how difficult would it be to make the edge of this, instead of the oval just being smooth, to make it like a very basic like gear shape? Because I mean, this is like a decent makeshift token, I guess. If you have no taste or standards, you could get away with this. Because I know some CAD programs have like a gear tool, and these haven't loaded, but it doesn't look like there's anything in here. Okay, so shape generators. Okay, so here we go. Which one would you recommend? Chuck covered this in one of his videos. That would be incredibly useful for me to sit and watch, but it's not helpful now. I wonder if we could get away with just doing... It doesn't look like it just lets us draw like kind of vector shapes. Like, I guess we have to use these predefined kind of things here. Get out of here. Get out of here. Did you happen to know of any shape generators? Look through the community shape generators. Okay. How do I do that? My category seems to be empty there. Do I have to exit? Let me open another window here. Is it somewhere else that I can find them? Oh, okay, they loaded here. Okay. It was just kind of slow. Surely somebody has a gear generator of some kind. because that's like a very common thing. That's close. There's a thread generator. There's all kinds of stuff in here. Cog ring. We might be able to get away with that. How do we use this? Might be able to get away with this. I mean, it's not exactly like a gear shape, but oh, we can't go over the top there. No, that's not quite what we're looking for. No, that's not quite what we're looking for. Can we hit the delete key? Hell yeah, we can. Let's look a little more here. Inkscape. Yeah, like guys, I'm like thanks for the suggestions, but yeah, I'm quite aware that there's a number of other programs to use, but we're just checking out TinkerCAD today. Mainly the reason it's kind of on my radar is, I mean, people have suggested that I check it out because it's free. But if you've watched any of the other videos, most of the pieces that we used, like, correct me if I'm wrong, Aaron, but most of the pieces we used in, like, the cable chains and stuff, Aaron had actually modified in TinkerCAD. So if he can do that, we can do a stupid little gear in here. A mandala? Pro gear. Ooh, see, here we go. I mean, this is very okay. So maybe what we need to do is just I wonder if we can make this. Oh, that's kind of unfortunate that it's. It's kind of unfortunate that it's going to stretch it like that. Because that is very much what we need. I guess we could. Let me delete this one and pull another one in here. I guess I could make round tokens. That would probably be the easiest way to do this. If we can change the scale of this. Because, I mean, I have no problem with the tokens being round. What did I say these were? These were, I think, about 17 millimeters. Oh, these were bigger. These were about 24 millimeters. And I don't think this size is too big for the game. So, that's 20 millimeters there. Let's go to about 22. I mean, I think that's okay for a size. So, especially if it makes it... Oh, hell. Especially if it makes this easier. Because like I said, I just wanted to fool around with this for a little bit. And I guess I need to change the spacing on the teeth. Hopefully we can do that. Okay. I mean, that's fairly close to what I'm looking for, actually. So let's let's get rid of all this crap. Let's get rid of this ugly little oval. And we have our nice little text here. And we'll place this, I guess that looks about centered. And we'll scale our text. Hopefully we can scale it all together. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so scale our text. Bring it up a little bit. We're going to have to make this a little deeper since we scaled it down. Maybe something like that. That looks, where's our... I think that's centered on our ruler. And then I'm just eyeballing the center like handle here to our ruler line, and that looks close enough. Like I said, I don't want to fool with this too much. I just wanted to mess around and give it a go. So how thick are we here? Let's go a little higher than that. And I also ordered, use the shape generator called text. Okay. I'll go with this just for now. We'll do it the hard way the first time. But yeah, I did see that. But I just want to kind of knock one of these out quickly. Like, I think that looks okay. I think what we need to do now is just put something in here to fill this space. I think I did see... like, I guess we could potentially use something like this. Right? And then something like that. Move it around here, scale it down. We're going to have to adjust this height quite a bit. And we'll make these fairly shallow compared to the text because they're just going to kind of like accent the shape. And where's it at here? I guess that's not going to have exactly the same radius. We'll just stretch it. We'll just fudge this a little bit. I know some of you guys that use CAD on a regular basis are probably cringing a little bit right now, but you'll survive. Oops, we don't want to hit shift yet. But we're just going to eyeball most of this. We'll just make it look about right, even if it's not actually correct. But I don't know, something about like that. Something to just kind of like fill this space. Maybe a little bit smaller. And can we control? Hell yes, we can control C and control V. Fantastic. Oops, a little too far. Let's try that again. And we'll go 180 here. I don't know how we got a weird angle in that last one. Okay, and then we'll bring this down. I guess we do need to be... We'll do both of them. We need to be a little bit thicker than that. Maybe something like that. And bring it just below the surface. And then, is there any way to do guidelines? Because I guess... I'm not used to how, like, to measure things in this program. So for 16.48, that would make us 8.24 to the center. I guess that's our dimension. That's not our actual location. Again, we'll just eyeball these. I guess we can set our grid snap a little bit higher. That'll probably help a little bit, potentially. I guess we should snap this. I guess we could snap this to center. Do you know, Aaron, if there's a key command to snap something you have selected to the center? Use the align tool. That sounds really easy to do. Well, A isn't the align tool. But hopefully these should snap to center now that we've kind of... Not really. Not really. Okay. Yeah, these don't seem to want to like center at all, really. Why are you? That is an excellent question. Why am I? I need a little more information to answer that question, though. I mean, again, just eyeballing it, that looks centered-ish. Let's grab another one. Like that, why won't it snap on top of the other one? I don't understand. I don't understand. If the other one snapped to the grid, why isn't this one snapping to this? Like, why can't I snap it directly on top? I don't understand. This is not behaving like most of the CAD programs that I'm used to using. This is, and I don't want anyone to get the wrong impression. This is obviously not a tutorial. This is just me kind of like fumbling around in here. How do I take the ruler off? Is that like an actual object in here? There we go. I guess I'll quit clicking for a minute. Is there any simple way to select multiple objects and align them to a single axis? Oh, okay. Okay. Align. So they're aligned? Am I to understand that? So right, if I'm reading this correct, that means when I'm mousing over these spots here, that means those points are aligned on these two shapes. So if I select everything, can I... Hmm. Okay, well at any rate, like I said, I'll have to check some tutorials out and uh, acclimate myself to this on my own time. I don't want to get too ridiculous with it here. So we'll fill both of these with whole. It's an odd thing to say. Did it do it? Is it going to do it? Oh, that's right, and we need to group it. Heyo. There we go. That's not too bad, eh? That doesn't look like absurdly plain. And the recesses are a different height. I can tell already the printer is probably going to have a hell of a time printing that. That's going to be an exceptionally small piece right there. I did order, like about an hour ago, I ordered a couple tips. I didn't order, like Aaron, I don't know if you saw, I was talking about ordering the 0.15 millimeter tip, but they're freaking $18.99, so I didn't get that one. Instead, I got the fun pack that has a 0.25, a 0.3, a 0.35, another 0.2, which would just be a spare, and then a 0.6 and a 0.8. So, okay. Well, anyway, like I said, I'm not going to waste too much time on this. I think that's kind of cool for just messing around a little bit. I just wanted it to be a gear because, like I said, my dudes are little robot guys, and this is an ability called Reconstruct that when you kill a guy that has this on it, he kind of pops back up nearby. He kind of reconstructs himself. So I guess we're going to save this. Smashing Hango Amberus. That's a strange name. Recesses more than a millimeter are troublesome. I actually don't know how deep that is. I guess if we ungroup this, it's going to undo our kind of fill situation. Will it give us dimensions if we mouse over? How do we get the dimensions of this? It looks like these are about 2 millimeters deep. So maybe I'll bring it up a little bit. Because if that's 2 millimeters, I would assume that's a little less than a millimeter that it's recessed in there. And we'll do the same with these. Let's get a dimension on these. I wish it gave us a little bit more info. So these are less than a millimeter thick. They're less than a millimeter. Okay, so we can leave them like that. That shouldn't be an issue. So we'll regroup all this, and it should... there we go. Okay. That's cool. And we'll change... I didn't realize we can just... Do we just type in here to change this? How do we... Okay, go into properties here, and it'll allow us to do this. So this is a war machine token reconstruct. And we can make this public. Yeah, share alike. Save changes. Is it just me or is it lagging? Meester, I guess that's your name. Meester, you can, if you go to the little gear on YouTube, you can, like in the bottom right corner of the video, you can reduce the resolution. That probably should help. Like if you take it to 720p or something. Because if you're lagging, YouTube's different than Twitch and stuff. Like if you're lagging, there's nothing I can really do about it. Like my upload is fine. Like I'm not dropping frames or choking my upload, so it's. I was gonna say it's unfortunately not anything on my end, but I guess fortunately it's not anything on my end. So, yeah, that's between you and YouTube's ingest server. So lowering the quality should help you with that. Okay, so there's our token. Let us download this for 3D printing. Download an STL. Let's oh, how I turned everything off. Let me get this sorted back out. Let me sort these files out, and then we'll pull Simplify 3D up. Oh, that actually pulled that straight into Simplify 3D. Okay, okay. So I kind of jumped the gun there. Let's go back here. TinkerCAD Beta allows cooperative editing. Is that in real time? That would actually be really cool. Or does it just mean like both of us can have access to the same files? So here's our sexy little piece in TinkerCAD. Oh, that actually looks all right. I'm kind of surprised. Okay, and I think I have... This is just all default PLA settings. And we shouldn't need anything crazy. This does not have, if you guys have been following along, I do not have my PID tunings in Simplify 3D yet, so we're just going to kind of go, and I also don't have my my Wi-Fi SD card set up yet, so don't tell. Oh, it looks like our. Okay, we need to remove that. There we go. Okay, let me shift some cameras around, and I'll go ahead and set my printer up here. I'll start preheating it, and we'll go ahead and print one of these out and see how terrible it ends up looking. I guess I can set my printer back here on the workbench. So we're done. We're basically done in Simplify. So let me grab my printer. We'll start preheating it, and I have a filament in here that's probably not the best for showing you guys something, because it's the Everyday PLA from Protopasta. Which is, because I've been trying to test some filaments. If nobody's tried it yet, you can get, I think it's $4 to get a sample of the Everyday PLA, it's called, which is just like plain unpigmented PLA, and it actually prints pretty damn good. I print these little test things, and it printed pretty fantastically. But like you can see, it's basically clear. It's not like glass clear, but it's very clear. And I don't think it would be good for showing anybody this, so. You're lagging for some reason. Oh no. Is it like anything specific? Is it like the audio is not matching up to the video, or is it like buffering and stuff? Because I'm actually using the exact same settings that I always use for streaming, so I'm not sure what's up. It might just be YouTube today for some reason. But let's get some space here. freaking Mario. I got a Game Genie in the box on eBay the other day, and anybody, this is like the NES Mario 3. This is one of the cool ones. I got this from a friend. It's like the first ones they did were kind of misprinted, and you see the Bros is over here, and it clips over his hand. And if you look at any other Mario Brothers 3, it's over here, and like the cartridge and the manual and everything are all the same. So that's kind of cool. Not worth a whole lot. It's just like a little more rare than the regular copies. All right, so we're good to go. Joseph, don't be upset. I still have to move the file over on my laptop still. I'm going to set my Wi-Fi card up today after I'm done streaming. I promise. I promise. Oh, hell, I didn't slice that yet. Okay. So I guess I'm not done with that. Okay, so we're here in Simplify. And we're going to slice this somewhere into this folder with a million other G-code files. And we're done. We're done in Simplify now. Okay. So we're going to move this over, preheat everything, and yes, Aaron's still waiting on me to get a Raspberry Pi 3. Yeah, I'm working on that, man. I'm working on that. All right, I'm just trying to find this file here. There it is. But that obviously wasn't a very big file, but with the few files I've done in Simplify already, it's kind of shocking how fast it slices. Okay. You see, I still have this this sample roll on there. But I guess I can move this over here. I just have to shift some things around. It kind of worried me the first time I used any of the files I sliced in Simplify. I never knew that by default it heats the bed to temp and then the hot end, and it kind of scared me. I thought something was wrong with my machine. Do the cable chains introduce extra noise? No, they don't, actually. Every once in a great while, like, you'll hear a tiny bit of creaking, but the fan on the extruder is so much louder than that it's not really an issue. Aaron was saying that there's a way to fix the setting to make it not heat the heat bed first. I'm not, like, I don't really have a problem with it. It was just kind of funny that it, like, freaked me out a little bit because I thought something was wrong. But I'm actually fine with it. Like, I understand why it does it now that I did a little bit of looking, and I don't really have a problem with it. I would guesstimate it takes an extra 30 seconds for your machine to heat up because of that. But I guess the reasoning was, for anybody that hasn't looked, was that I guess some machines it takes the heat bed a long time to heat up, and what ends up happening is your hot end gets to temp very quickly, and then it ends up sitting there at temp while it's waiting on the heat bed, and I guess it can cause jams and stuff for some printers. But with the Prusa's, I guess it's not that big of a heat bed, and they both seem to heat up at about the same time, so it's not really an issue. But okay. But now, hopefully this turns out and is reasonable at this size, because I think we ended up being about 22 millimeters overall, which is kind of small. I'm hoping the 0.25 millimeter nozzle will be fine enough to print things like this and actually have them turn out nice. Because at 19 bucks, I really don't want to have to buy the 0.15, even though I'd like to have one. That's a little pricey for a nozzle tip. Especially, I'll probably end up putting a link in this video for that, but from, what is the name of that? Philostruder, the US supplier for the E3D stuff that I've been buying from. They have the fun packs that have, I think it's 6 or 7 different nozzles for $39.99, and it comes with the stupid little metal pressed wrench or whatever. I can see already, I just noticed, I can see already that it's not gonna, let me switch this back on. I can see already it's not going to print the insides of these letters because they're too small. I'll go ahead and... Oops. If anybody... the camera wasn't on, but if anybody just heard that grinding noise, my heat bed didn't have enough room to go back on the bench. So that's what that was. Hopefully it's still okay. But let me grab my second camera here while I'm at it. I can't find my USB extension cable. Aha. Because it's kind of funny, I've been saying that for, just by the 0.25. Yeah, the nice thing about that fun pack from E3D is that it comes with 0.25, a 0.3, a 0.35, a 0.4, a 0.6, and a 0.8. So that'll be a nice little selection. I'm kind of interested to see, like, the ones in the middle are kind of probably useful for the size range, but I'm kind of interested to see how the ones on the extreme ends of the spectrum perform, like the 0.8. I wonder what kind of stuff you can do with that. Do some really high speed prints. You turn your printer sideways. Yeah, that's definitely a cool little piece. I'm glad I messed with this today. I guess I guess to get by, let me go ahead and pull TinkerCAD back up here. Well, let me finish the camera first. I don't think I have enough range. I guess we do. This is kind of a ghetto setup today. Let's see where this camera's at. Let's get it centered, and then I'll adjust the settings. And I unplugged it. Real high quality stream today, huh, guys? And it's done. Just in just in time. Nailed it. Well, anyway, we'll throw another one together here too. What, the box is 2 millimeters? This was at 200 microns. Let me pull this other camera over here and we'll take a look at it. This is a cool little piece. I gotta say, this is the I've made a lot of 3D files before, but this is the first one that I ever made and then actually printed. And then let me try a little trick here with some paint so we can see these recesses. Let me grab some ink. I have a little brush here, and I'll put a little bit of ink in these recesses so we can actually see them. Because like I said, this clear filament's kind of... I mean, even me being here in person, it's kind of hard to see what's really going on with those letters in the recesses. But yeah, it didn't print the centers of these letters, which isn't surprising given how small they are. I might end up remaking these. This ink actually isn't really helping either. The part's too smooth. Guess that helps a tiny little bit. Not really. Let me bring this over. We'll use this guy for this. I'll lay it down here. Hopefully we can get like a close-up that'll actually focus. Yeah, I can't even tell which way the letters are facing, and I'm looking at it super close up. And let me see if I can zoom a little bit. Oh, this camera doesn't have much zoom. But okay. Yeah, there's our little piece. Cute. Going the wrong way. But you can see the recesses of the half circles that we did actually look fine. And for comparison, there was the piece we're replacing. So we could actually make this a bit bigger. Really. But overall, I mean, it's kind of the case with everything I ever print with this machine, but overall, that's an exceptionally clean print given the size it is. Holy moly. But yeah, like I said, I was hoping this ink would make it... I tell you what I could do. I tell you what we can do. Because I had planned on painting these, actually. Smaller than 20 millimeter. No, it doesn't look like we'd get away with it with this nozzle. I think with a smaller nozzle we could. But with a 0.4 millimeter nozzle, I think this is probably the lower limit. Like I said, we could probably find some middle ground. You gonna focus? I guess it doesn't want to focus now. We could probably find some like middle ground between these two, because if this was about 22 and this was I forget what it was, like 24 or something like that. There's probably some space there in the middle that would probably work out. But what I was thinking already is I'll actually jump back in TinkerCAD here. I'm going to hit this with some spray paint so we can maybe see it. Like if I spray paint this and ink it, I think I'll be able to like show you some of the detail. So let me hit this with some spray paint over here off to the side. Some flat white should work. But I think overall that was a success. It actually made me anxious to calipers time. I guess we could check and see what that actually ended up being. All right. So this one is 23. That one must have been, if I had to guess, that's probably in the 18 millimeter range. Okay, so now I moved my monitor and it's 3 feet away. Sorry guys, the stream usually isn't quite this haphazard. Like I was saying, I think we can go in here now. Let me arrange these cameras again. Okay, so I think when we get our other nozzles, get that over there. I think when we get a smaller nozzle, this piece will actually be okay. I think this will actually be a cool little piece. I wasn't expecting this to turn out that well at that size. I think we could scale this up about 10%, and it would still turn out okay. Better than I was expecting it to. So let's... Okay, we're going to duplicate this. I was going to say, okay, give us an actual duplication. I think what we could do is we'll ungroup all of these things, right? And we'll... Yeah... We'll bring a cylinder in here. And scale it down and get it to approximately the size of our... those recesses, I'm sorry. I can't think and talk, apparently. But I still... It doesn't seem like these... Like, things don't snap to center. Which is kind of irritating. It just makes things a little more difficult. So... And I will give... I'll go ahead and rate this. I'll give this a 5. What do we want to say here? Good stuff. Because this is a really handy tool. You can make things snap to center via the dimension handles. How do I do that? How do I do that? Do you mean kind of like align the dimension handles to something? And then just kind of like do it that way? Why isn't my grid showing? Am I too close? But, oh, only if I have a ruler. Okay, we can do that. So put a ruler here. I assume, okay, so say this is 11, that's 11 millimeters. I guess we would want that inner circle to be, if I'm just ballparking, I would assume about 12 millimeters. So we'll scale this up to 12. And then put this, oh, that's not right. That's not right. We want our offset here. Yeah, we want this. So we want to be at -6. And then if this is... Oh, this is smaller than I thought. So this is 16. Let's make this a little bit bigger. I would say about 18 by 18. And then we'll put this to -9. And -9. Oh, that's not right. Damn it. Why is it not giving us a Y offset? Or is that... Oh, that's right here. Okay. Okay, I see it. And then same with this one. We're going to be at -6. So So there, we are actually centered. Okay. To the align with center tool. Yeah, I need to figure out how to use that here in the near future. We can lose all of these. And we're just going to keep our R this time, since given our nozzle size, we're not really going to be able to print exactly the scale we're going to want to. So I would assume this is on the work surface, yeah. And this piece is, what's it saying? 2.73 millimeters thick. Oh, it's over there drying. I spray painted it. Let's bump that up a little bit. We'll go to 3 millimeters. And we'll make this, what, like 2.25-ish? Actually, we'll go to 1.25. And then bring that to approximately there. And then fill this with whole. That'll never stop amusing me every time I say that. I will fill that with whole. So yeah, there's a cool little base, and then is that on the work surface? That is not. So there we are. Make it 3. Same height. And we will center that. Which looks like it's about centered. That does not look like it's about centered. Okay, so this is what? 5 by 5 will make it. And we'll make this... Oh. And where's our other offset? Is that it right there? Negative 2.5? So there, I think that's kind of cool. I think it probably is. Meester's pointing out that this is probably easier with the align tool. I'm sure there's a lot of the things I've done today. There's a lot of things today that I've probably done that would be easier in a way other than how I did it. I guess we could scale this up a little bit just to ensure that it prints okay. I wish there was a way to scale it around the center. Well, actually, below the 5, look at to adjust via center. Oh, is that what that is? How do I do it? Oh, okay, fantastic. Okay. Aaron pointed out that if you see when I have this R selected, there's this tiny little triangle. And right now it's set to scale from the corner. And you can kind of see that it changes the... well, actually, it's set to scale from center. And you can see now it's scaling from the corner. And now it'll scale from midpoint. Or, well, I guess it's the opposite of what I just said. Right there. Damn it. It's not doing it. Oh well. But anyway, we're going to delete this. And you said that if I use the shape generator, like the text shape generator, that I can actually choose my font. Which we we have a huge selection here. That's kind of funny. Vanilla. I wonder why there's so few. Can you... Do you know if you can use like true type fonts or anything? or if it's kind of just limited to this comically small collection of fonts here. That's kind of funny. I was expecting more than 5 options in the drop-down list. That barely looks like an R. SVG. I'm actually not familiar with doing it that way. Like all the stuff I've ever done in CAD, it never needed anything. I wonder if there's a different... can you search the community? I guess you probably can't search these, I would guess. Hey, what's up, Jonathan? Let's try that again. If we can go into view code. Oh, I see. And I guess we just need to bring our own font resources in here. That's probably a project for another day, but I will mess with that at some point. Okay, so we'll get rid of this. We'll check out a few of these community things and see if it gives us any other fonts, I guess. Oh, I don't have any. I know I don't have any SVG fonts on my computer. I wish I did. But I'll have to hunt one down that kind of has like a industrial robot kind of thing. Is this... Hey, here's one. I wonder if this guy has any other fonts. Oh, no. I wonder if we can grab some somewhere. I wonder if we can grab a cool font here. Oh god, this looks like a whole nother project to start. Okay, so we're not doing that. Why can't anything ever be easy? Let's try it. Hey, even this is kind of like different. So let's just kind of throw these on the desktop. Or can we use TrueType? There's not even... Let me go in secret here. And I do have I don't need everybody seeing all my pornography. I need to go find my fonts. So let's like this one. Let me drag all these on the desktop and see if it'll accept any of these files. Well, like I said, Aaron, we can give it a go here briefly. Let's see if it will accept this fella here. No. Okay. Well, we tried. We'll just use the default R. So we'll just use their letters here. That's fine. Let's get back in here. And what was our dimensions? I think we were at like 5 millimeters. A little bigger than that, like 6. 6mm, something like that's fine, I think. And then our offsets will obviously be, what, -3. Oh, that was our height. Crap. -3. Oh, that's right. We have to change that. -3 and -3. And like ours, that's something I dealt with when I had to do CAD work before. Like even though that's centered, like dimensionally, that doesn't look right because we're square on this side and rounded on this side, so our clearances are different. So we'll actually shift that over a little bit. We'll have to change our grid. I think something like that actually looks more centered, even though it's not technically centered. Okay, no, we don't want that. That's kind of weird. Where is our height? Is that our height right there? Yes, it is. Okay. So make our height 3. And that should be flush with the top. But I think that looks acceptable. Looks good enough for government work. Oh hell. Okay. Alright, so adjust our cameras here. Shoutouts to my homie Stinky Peterson. Who is Stinky Peterson? Okay, so let's give this a go. This is a little bit bigger, so it should print a little bit better. We'll go in here, and we'll just name this 2. And we'll make this public. I don't really care if anybody takes this. Yeah, you're right. Aaron pointed out that if we change this to use midpoint, it'll dimension from there, so our offset becomes 0, which does make it easier. So we'll go ahead and download the STL. Bam. TinkerCAD's a little slow sometimes. I've noticed that in the past. I wish it would give you like a save as dialog instead of just dumping it in your default download folder. Let me grab that quick. And we'll remove the old one. Import the new one. And there it is in Simplify. Bam. Damn it. I'm not used to the... usually middle mouse button lets you drag the work surface around. But yeah, there's our token. That's not bad looking. And we'll just leave this on all the default PLA settings. And you see this time it's actually going to print all of the parts of the letter. So that is a plus. So we'll dump this in our folder. Blah, blah, blah. And then do this whole song and dance again. And we'll go ahead and print it out. Anybody, let me show off my little robot dude. My wife was running behind yesterday, And I play this game called War Machine, and I just decided to throw some paint on this model. And like usual, this camera looks like terrible because OBS never saves any settings. But check this little guy out for 15 minutes worth of painting. Is autofocus not on? It's pretty bad that I can do a better job of focusing than it can. But those inks are amazing. That was like 15 minutes of like throwing some paint on this guy and then inking it, and he looks like all like antique-y and bronze and stuff now. So yeah, cool stuff. Cool stuff. I love playing miniature games like that. This will take a minute to heat up usually. It's not too bad. But I'll stick this over here to the side. It should be printing right about there when it's all said and done. Yeah, steampunk. It looks steampunky, but it's actually the game's called War Machine from Privateer Press. I've got some boxes here somewhere. Like here's the boom. There's the box for my faction. And it's just like robot dudes. But the other guys, like there's trolls. There's basically like space elves. There's did I 3D? No, I didn't 3D print this. I wish I could. I mean, you could, but I don't have the files for it, so it'd be a little tough. Yeah, this stuff's all injection molded resin. They used to be pewter years ago, but they switched to resin. But it's a cool game. I can show some of this stuff off while we're sitting here. This is one of the other factions called Cricks. And you can see they're kind of like, they're still all like robots. They're called warjacks. But these guys are like, kind of like the undead sort of dudes. Kind of, sort of. But it's a really cool game. And it's not like some other war games where you have like these humongous armies and stuff. That's just like overwhelming to paint and kind of deal with. But yeah, cool stuff. I've played Warhammer for years, so you could make a file from the figure with a Caltech 3D scanner. If it's like any of the scanners that are decent, I'm assuming it's fairly expensive. But yeah, we'll print this out, see how she looks. And I'll grab the other one while we're waiting. Let's... Okay. Let's get autofocus on this camera, and I'll try to show you this little one here. Alright, we're gonna focus. Let's try to focus. I'll try my best here. I'm gonna manually focus this. But you see the first one we printed, it looks okay. It just kind of like, because of the scale of the details, it just didn't print some of them, which is something the slicers do. If something's under like a certain size, it just won't even bother trying to print it. So it's kind of to be expected. But no, hopefully this one, yeah, that is really small. Like if you just joined on, the machine currently has a 0.4 millimeter nozzle, and I ordered a set that will include like a 0.25, a 0.3, and a 0.35, and some bigger ones. But they'll work out a lot better. But if you saw like even this piece, the outer edges that are kind of suitable for the size nozzle I have are really clean. Like it has nice sharp edges on it. So, no, overall I think it turned out nice. It is necessary before each print. Especially like with me moving the machine as much as I do. It really is. Yeah, it only takes about, I would say, less than 10 seconds, so no, it's nice to have. Because even minor changes in the bed level, like for me moving the machine or the way it might be sitting or something, can affect your adhesion on your first level. Dawn said a 0.2 could be better. Yeah, they actually, again, I discussed this a little bit earlier. They actually sell a 0.15, which I'd like to have, but I got these 6 other sizes in a kit that's called the Fun Pack for $39.99 for 6 of them, which will give me, what would that be? 3 sizes smaller than I currently have, 1 that will be a replacement for what I currently have, and then 2 that are bigger than the 0.4. And the 0.15 by itself is $18.99. Did I build my printer on my own? Yeah, it was a kit. Yep, it was a kit from Prusa, which I can link here for you. They have a bit of a delay. But yeah, that's where it's from. These are great printers, the Prusa MK2s. Fantastic printers. The kit's not hard to assemble. I actually had a lot of fun assembling it. Because I hope to get a second printer here sometime in 2017. And I'm kind of looking forward to assembling another one. These printers are more than most of the other i3 kits that you see online. And it's for good reason. But mine delivered, and I'm in Pennsylvania in the U.S., mine delivered from the Czech Republic, which is where these are from, was $770 to my door. And it included everything I needed. It came with not the filament, that filament's expensive, but it came with a kilogram of filament and everything you need. So now overall, they're really great printers. So we'll ditch this and take a look at this piece. Sweet. Yeah, these are sweet. Like small stuff is always so much cooler than big stuff. Let me bring the other camera over. And let me get something kind of darker to set this on. But here's our 3 pieces. I'll show you here. Here's the original. Whoops, grabbed the wrong thing. There's the original one we were kind of trying to copy. There's the original. Here's the first one we did that was a little bit too small for what our printer could handle. And then here's the one we just printed. And it's actually really clean. I know it's hard to see because it's in the clear filament. But if you can see with the light, it's actually really clean. That is a cool little piece. And the back's perfectly smooth like usual. But no, those are perfect. I'm pretty pumped about that. But while we're here, why don't I go ahead? I have this Hatchbox Gray. Let me load a different filament and print another one out since they're so fast. And I say that because I have this other PLA that I haven't even opened yet that I've wanted to test. This is from a company called Hatchbox, and it's pretty much everybody's like go-to everyday filament. And I haven't tested it yet, and I've had it for like a week. So let's, especially while this is still heated up. Oh, it cooled down. We have to wait a minute for the nozzle to heat back up. Yeah, solid colors are better. This is, I think it's called silver. This is called silver, but it's actually kind of like a light gray. You can hear how tight the vacuum seal was on that. No, it's funny, but I always love, like, smelling stuff when it's new. But this is the filament we were printing with. And like I mentioned earlier, this is just a regular PLA that doesn't have any pigment in it from a company called Protopasta. And it prints really nice. If you're doing things, like if I wasn't streaming, I wouldn't care that this is clear. But if you're doing things where color is kind of irrelevant, like I'll probably end up painting some of these, just so I can kind of like make them match my little robot dudes. This stuff's fairly cheap, and it's a really great filament. Hey, Nillabean, to be honest with you, Stinky and I are losers who disturb live streams and chats, but we didn't want to be mean to you since you seem to be like a really cool and friendly guy. Well, I appreciate that, guys. I've only banned one person ever, and it was pretty unanimous that it was deserved. But no, I've had pretty good luck. I don't think, like, it'd be different if we were talking politics or something like that, or something. Yeah, it was Anal Slayer. Apparently Butthurt Beluga was here when that happened. But the dude's name was Anal Slayer, so you can imagine. But no, I've had pretty good luck as far as that stuff goes. So even if you're in here ripping and a tearing, that's all right. You'll just be numbers 2 and 3. So do what you got to do. But and you can kind of see with these machines that they're really easy to operate for the most part. The one thing, and there's several guys in here that kind of bug me about it, but the one thing I haven't done is the final tweaking of my machine to get all my axes parallel. It's something I still need to do. Probably do it on stream one day, since we have that badass PNG with all the measurements and stuff on it. I need to just like go through it. What time is it here? It is holy crap, it's 4:30 already. I always end up streaming for way longer than I plan on it. I kind of anticipated streaming for like a half hour, and now it's been like an hour and 45 minutes already. But like I said, I'm over here on the East Coast in the US. We're in Pennsylvania. So, yeah, it's 4:30-ish. And I don't know if all you guys do this. I always just run like a good bit more filament through this to purge the other color. I selected the wrong one. It did it again. Something we've discussed in the past. How that freaking multi-purpose knob will throw an extra click in there right as you try to select something. Yeah, oh my god. I'm the same, Beluga. I wish I had that resource when I was setting mine up. Because a lot of those things are a lot easier to do when you're doing your initial assembly. It's not that it's hard to do afterwards, but it would just be easier. I'm just catching up on chat here. Oh, Beluga, you said your PLA, even when it was still packaged, weighed less than a kilogram. Yeah, I've never actually measured really. Shit. I forgot to take the old purge strip off. But no, I think overall these little tokens were kind of a success, more of a success than I was expecting. Especially when I started and I was just kind of like fumbling around like an idiot. But oh, this is Simplify, and we're not doing fonts. There's the Google Hangout. Oh, that's my profile. I guess I have files in my profile now. Fancy stuff. I would like to be able to print these. Like I said, I'll try after I have a smaller nozzle. I think it'll be way more doable with a smaller nozzle. But for now, I think these are cool. Like I said, I only need 3. So oh, I think we have filament jam. I can hear it. Got a filament jam. Hopefully that's not commentary on the Hatchbox PLA that 2.5 seconds into my first print with it, I get a filament jam. We'll let that heat up. We'll let that heat up again. Uh, Asking me about my tabletop games. How long have I been into? Well, it depends on the game. War Machine, I've only played for about a month. Actually, they have it's called a journeyman tournament that is kind of geared towards getting new players into the game. I've been playing in that for about a month. I've played, I think, about 15 games and have won about 12 of them. So, but before that, I played Warhammer Fantasy Battles, it was called. And I played that for probably 15 years. And then I've played all kinds of other games. Like I played 40K. I've played a lot of, I know it sounds funny to say, but like adult board games, like a bunch of Euro games, like Agricola, things even like, shit, I don't know, all kinds of stuff. All kinds of stuff. I've always been a gamer. But now I was just talking to a friend the other day because I wasn't expecting to do as well in War Machine as I have been. Uh, but it seems like the group that I did wargaming with as a kid, we played. We were all extremely competitive. Like we always played as well as we possibly could. Never pull any punches. Because there's kind of a life lesson there. I know some people, like when they're new to a game, it sucks to lose. It really does. It sucks to lose at a game. It sucks to lose at anything in general. But when you're in an environment, and this applies to more than just games, when you're in an environment that's competitive and you're with a bunch of like extremely competitive people, there's kind of like two primary ways you can react to it. You can complain about it and basically want people to go easy on you, or you can take your lumps, do your best to learn, and make the biggest effort you can to try to keep pace with the guys that are better than you. And if you do that, you will get better quick. That's why I was saying I was having a conversation with a friend recently, and I was talking about War Machine, and I just told him, like, all those years of playing Warhammer at very high levels of competition just made me better at gaming in general. They used to have, like, the actual, like, sanction. They were called GTs, Grand Tournaments. They used to have GTs from the company that they sponsored them and stuff. And, like, I used to play in those and always did fairly well. Would place well. But I did play 40K. I never played 40K at a GT. I did go to a couple like smaller tournaments and stuff. But for the most part, I was like a fantasy battle player. I always thought it was a better game. It was a better game for like playing. It was a better competitive game than 40K ever was or ever probably will be, honestly. Because it was like so much more tactical and so much like... It was so unforgiving. Like, if you weren't good at the game, you weren't going to do very well for the most part. And 40K, even fairly new players with certain armies can do okay. Matt said, "Yeah, when you're trying to learn how to play a game, I want my ass kicked." I agree. It can be difficult at the time. It can be difficult to take your lumps, but if you kind of just hang in there and get your head in the right place and do your best to learn and keep pace, you will be a better person for it. Definitely, I think. And I'm competitive with everything I do. I'm a perfectionist, and it's kind of like a good and bad character trait to have depending on the situation. But yeah, especially with games, it does you no good to have people go easy on you. All it does is it's like a crutch, basically. And if you just put the time in, like I understand that some people don't take things seriously, and like when I play those people, I'll just try to have fun instead of like try to win. But I like winning. I like being good at stuff. I like trying my best. I like trying to even if I can't be the best, I like to try to at least compete with the people that are best at stuff. So it's kind of like an MO that ends up applying to more than just like a specific thing that you're trying to do. Usually, like if you adopt that mentality, it ends up applying to a lot of things in your life. But no, I've always been that way. Like I said, it'll lead to some people thinking you're an asshole, which is kind of inevitable depending on the circumstances, but it is what it is. I guess I can use my handy dandy little weird needle thing that they sent me. What is fun? I play Dota. I play the game I play most anymore is MechWarrior Online. It's a pretty competitive game at the higher levels of play, and it can be frustrating because it's really unforgiving, and it's not the best balanced game in the world for sure. It's too expensive to take the filament from the states. Yeah, Jorg, I agree, and it's kind of like that goes both ways. There's quite a few companies in the UK and Europe in general that I would like to get filament from, but I can't really justify the shipping costs, so I definitely know the feeling. So, like I said, it goes both ways because there's a lot of cool companies in the UK and just not in the US in general that it's kind of hard to justify buying from. If anybody, if any of you guys have been on YouTube long in the 3D community, I'm sure you know who Angus from Maker's Muse is, and I always feel bad for him because he lives down in Australia, and Australia is essentially the worst place in the world for shipping internationally. Like the rates to ship to and from Australia are just absurd. So anytime anybody complains about shipping, I always think of poor old Angus down in Australia because he has a hard time getting filaments from what he says. But anyway, let's try to unjam this machine. Huh. I don't really know why we have a jam, honestly. Well, we got it luckily. I don't really know what caused that jam. Yeah, Protopasta. They were one of the few companies that I reached out to for samples and stuff, and they were really great guys. Like they acted really great about it. They're a very small company, but they were still really nice. They were willing to kind of work with me on stuff. I'm still waiting for them to get back to me, but they have they don't have a huge product line, but they do have a lot of cool stuff. Like they're mostly known for their composite PLAs, and there's basically two that I'm really excited to try. One is a polishable stainless steel PLA that you print basically like normal PLA, and then you can polish it, and it looks very similar to stainless steel, which is super cool. And I discussed this the other day. I think it would take a lot of effort, but like I have all these extra links from doing the cable chains for the you can see they're orange on the machine behind me, but I have all these extra links, and they're quite a bit like tank tracks, and I would like to try to make a little very simple. It'd be very simple, little tank that's entirely 3D printed except for the motor, batteries, and maybe like a switch to turn it on and off. Because Protopasta makes a what is the material? It's shit. I'm drawing a blank. But it's a conductive PLA. It's graphite. They make a conductive graphite PLA that will actually like conduct low amperage current through it, and you can actually like print little circuit boards and stuff that will be like embedded. So I'd really like to do that. It'll probably take me a while because I'm kind of bad at doing stuff like that, but I could put advertisement on my bald. I get what you're saying there. Yeah, I have some ad space here I could sell, I guess. But like I said, it would be very simple. Like it would basically be like I could kind of envision uh, a pair of tracks kind of like this, probably a little bit smaller, with 3D printed wheels, and you'd have a pair of drive wheels on the rear. You could 3D print the axles, everything. 3D print the entire thing except the battery pack. And then the battery pack could potentially run and connect to the conductive filament circuits that you made. And like I said, try to print as much stuff as you could, including the circuitry, except for you can't 3D print batteries. You couldn't 3D print the motor, I don't think. Not easily, anyway. That would be a little beyond me, if you even could. But I think that'd be a cool little project. And you wouldn't be able to control it. It wouldn't be anything crazy. The smooth outside surface is probably not ideal for tank tracks. Well, I had already thought about that, and I know it's kind of hard to see. But if you see on these, the leading edge has a square part. And if you could imagine, like, the tracks going that way, well, I have some full range links. But they actually have a bit of bite if you face them the right direction, because they have these square edges that kind of lead, that do give them a little bit of traction. But ultimately, since we're using TinkerCAD, and Aaron that's in chat actually modified these in TinkerCAD, because the basic ones had closed links, and all of these, you can see it if you go look at the video I did the other day of installing the cable chains. These actually have little clips in them so that you can open these up and lay the cables in and then put the clips on. And from what I understand, he did all those modifications in TinkerCAD. So it shouldn't be too hard to go in there and put little cleats on the outside of these. But no, I think that'd be a cool little project. I don't know that anybody like people have like there's Open RC that's like a 3D printed RC car and stuff like that. Like people have done similar things, but I'm not aware of anybody actually printing the circuitry with some of these new filaments that are hitting the market. So that'd be a cool little twist on things, I think. But yeah, if Aaron's still here, there he is. If Aaron's still here, you can do a number of things. Like if you'd like to see, I'll move the printer over here. The the cable chains and stuff. Like I think that's a really cool upgrade. And Aaron's saying there that the L and the Rambo are fixed. Those are printed pieces that you can print yourself on your own printer to do this cable chain upgrade that replaces the kind of crappy cable wraps that come. Not that they're crappy, but the cable chains are cooler by like miles. But I was trying to. Somebody asked me what the cost of doing that upgrade is if you have a printer. I used way less than a roll of PLA to print all the pieces out. So, like my guess, Aaron can kind of give his opinion on this. I would guess that your total cost for doing the cable chain upgrade would probably be in the $6 to $8 range, which is kind of insane. It's kind of crazy how cheap you can do some things once you have a printer. But yeah, Dawn, that conductive filament's really cool. I'd like to try it. There's already some people that have printed basically single piece little LED flashlights where it's just all one piece, well, except for the LED. And you just flex it, and when you flex it, you can make contact internally, and it closes the circuit with the battery and stuff and turns the little LED on. So it opens up all kinds of cool things. And it's not going to conduct very well, I wouldn't imagine, because of the process of extruding and stuff, and the contact between the conductive things in the filament probably isn't that great. But it is kind of like a cool window into what we might have access to in the near future here as some of these materials improve. But yeah, it's kind of shocking that he did all that stuff in TinkerCAD, especially when you look at the Rambo case. I actually had a second one because I printed out, but even a piece as complex as this that has all kinds of like holes for buttons and crap, and then like with these link pieces added so the chains can actually connect to the Rambo board. Because that's ultimately how this worked. Is like this bolts to your machine, and then the links connect to the box, and they protect the cables right out of your electrical component case. So no, it's all really cool. Anyway, let's print this damn thing. So we did get unjammed. I don't know what caused that. Hopefully it's not the filament. Hopefully it was something just out of the ordinary. I'm just, I know you guys can't really see this. I'm just extruding a bit more filament to make sure we don't have any problems. Seems to be okay. It kind of worries me as I watch that extruding. I can see minor inconsistencies like in the filament itself, it seems like. Hopefully I'm not going to be the only guy on the planet that has a bad experience with Hatchbox. let's hurry up and print this while everything's working okay. But no, experimenting with filament is kind of fun. It's kind of addictive. I just want to get on like Amazon and buy everything. Oh, welcome to the hangout, Butthurt Beluga. It's not too bad. Luckily, there's nothing all that complicated that goes on in there. It's basically just like an IRC style kind of chat kind of thing. But if you either have no, we don't have a Discord. We were talking about that. I think there was a platform, Hip Chat or something that everybody was trying to like migrate to, but I don't really know what. I haven't followed it, so I don't know what ended up happening. But no, I guess I'll plug the Hangout now while we're talking about it. The Google Hangout, if you either have, I guess, a 3D printer at all, but specifically a Prusa MK2, or are interested in getting a Prusa MK2, the Hangout is probably a fantastic resource for you to be part of. Because if you have any questions and you drop in there basically 24 hours a day, there's probably somebody with some experience that can answer your questions for you. Hopefully this doesn't jam again. It did. Yeah, I don't know why that jammed again. Actually, and we're at the correct temperatures and stuff, but whoo, almost fell down. Yeah, I don't know why the hell this jammed again. This is, like I said, this is the first Hatchbox I've had, but I've heard almost exclusively good things about it. But it didn't extrude the purge strip. I could see that there was just a tiny little bit of filament like hanging out of the hot end. I mean, maybe it's this color, but I know it's not my machine because everything. It's like I was just kind of gushing about that protopasta filament, like how great it prints. Same with this orange that I printed all my links and stuff out of, this is a sweet color. But this is the AIO PLA, and this stuff was fantastic. It printed great, like absolutely flawlessly. I print these because I've been trying to do some tests to start doing some filament review videos. But I print these nice little like calibration pieces out that have overhang tests. They have angle tests. Couple different things on here, but so far this orange PLA from All-in-One Robotics printed better than anything else. Well, potentially the Protopasta Everyday PLA printed better. try higher temp. We can. I think it's already kind of at the high end of what they recommend for this, because that's why I checked on the spool. This recommends 180 to 210, and we're at 200. Yep, jammed. It is jammed. Alrighty then. Looks like we'll be saving this crap for another day, eh? I don't know what the problem is. I'll just put this orange in here since it works. I know it works good. Anyway, moving along. Yeah, I don't. It's definitely the filament. It's like that orange is purging that gray out now, and it's got like a little bit of graininess to it. So I think it's definitely the filament. Joey, I don't know if I'll be able to let you know anything about the silver. If it, that's the second time in a row. I don't know if you were here, but I tried to print and it jammed immediately. Didn't even extrude the purge strip, and then I cleared it out, extruded like a foot of PLA to make sure it was okay, and it jammed again. So I just took it out. And I don't know if you can see this orange. Whenever I extrude this orange, it comes straight, like absolutely straight and perfectly consistently out of the tip. Camera. Let me get the camera. It's one of the get a micro Swiss nozzle. I might just need to start like using the oiler as an oiler. I haven't actually oiled it. Well, it's not actually one right now either. I've just been using it as a dust filter basically. Uh, but yeah, I don't know. That's kind of disappointing. One of the things I wanted to do is I wanted to have kind of a that's kind of a weird angle. I'll turn it off for now. One of the things I wanted to do was have a couple different like categories that I judged. I mean, not like that's something crazy new or anything, but one of the things I wanted to judge filament on was reliability or confidence, however you want to like say it, because I can tell already there's some filaments that I have confidence in that when I start a print, I'm confident not watching the machine. Hold on. Hold on. Oh shit. Oh, oh, I might have been hasty. I think there was a little bit of that gray on the tip. I think it was still kind of jammed. We'll give it another go. Maybe I was giving Hatchbox a bad rap for no reason. I mean, I was going to do testing on my own time, but does it look like it has silver bits? Uh, I don't know. Like I said, it just seemed kind of grainy. I mean, it looks all right on the roll. I guess I can't really tell much just looking at it, but I mean, it looks like PLA. Because it's not actually like silver or metallic or anything. No, we've got something's wrong. It jammed again. I don't know. I'll take a minute and look at it here. Uh, what's the atomic method? No, it just seems like it's jamming again. I don't know what it is. It seems like the filament when just out of the tip is cooling. This is actually the orange, Joey, that I've never had any problems with. I've never had any jams at all. And certainly never back-to-back jams. kind of at a loss. There it acted like the filament wasn't even loaded. Has any... I loosened my... Do I have another nozzle or E-Sun cleaning filament? I have neither of those, unfortunately. Is it possible that I was actually pinching the filament off above the extruder by having my idler too tight? Like, is that possible? I did kind of, like, tighten that up a little bit at some point today. I forget when I did that. Maybe I made it too tight? It just seems odd to me that I can extrude filament like this and it's fine. Like, it's extruding fine now when I do it manually. Like, there was another 18 inches of filament, I'd say. Everything seems normal. I mean, yeah, I did try the nozzle needle. If it does it again, I'll lay the idler and stuff open for the filament. Yeah, it's the exact same G code as the first one. But everything seems normal. Nylon cold pool could fix it. Unfortunately, I don't have any nylon. We'll see if this works out. I'm kind of speechless. I don't know if anybody saw that, but I just pulled the filament out of the top of the extruder. I guess I can show you guys what I'm doing. I'm gonna pull open this, we'll open this up here. Sorry, you might not be able to hear me, but you can at least see what I'm doing. I'll open this up here and see if there's anything out of the ordinary going on in here. I mean, it doesn't look like there's anything in there. Everything looks normal. Yeah, I had the Yorg. That's what I was using earlier was the needle. But I think the filament's actually disconnecting. It's disconnecting up here. I don't think it's actually jammed down in the hot end, oddly enough. I'm not entirely sure if you're supposed to do this, but I'm gonna see without the extrusion motor in if I can just like gently push filament down through and see if it extrudes. Because if I can do that, I know I don't have a jam. Oh hell, I forgot. We'll have to give that a minute to heat up. It was clicking. Yeah, it was clicking on the silver, if you guys remember that. So I don't know if there's something jammed in there from the silver, but it seems odd that I could manually extrude. Every time I like dug around with the needle and then manually extruded, it worked fine, but then it goes to print. But it if I had to guess, it kind of acts like we can try printing a different file, but it kind of acts like the area up around the extruder motor is getting hot and kind of melting through the filament. Yeah, this is kind of learning curve Lee, but at the same time, I probably have hell at this point. I would guess 250 hours of printing on this machine already. So this is just kind of like a new development. So I'm not really sure what's going on. It could be. I mean, the fan that goes over the heat break is fine, it seems. Yeah, I'll show you. Like there, I'm pushing the filament down through the extruder with very little effort. Like I have almost no pressure on that and it's extruding. So we don't have a jam. That's not the problem. we'll check the... It looks like my extruder gear is fine and stuff. But you can see there, like, so our filament's in, everything seems normal. Like I said, I can push very gently on it, and it extrudes, so it's not jammed. Yeah, it's still not jammed. So let me throw everything together here and start a different file. Excuse me. Okay, so we tighten those back up. I made them a little bit tighter than they were before. Maybe it was slipping and chewing through the filament. And we'll just check again that it extrudes manually. Right, so here's extruding manually. And you see that works fine. Like if I'm just taking my fingers and putting a tiny bit of pressure on the filament, and it seems like the knurled thing is gripping it fine, so... I kind of have a feeling that somehow... I kind of have a feeling that it's... The extruder motor is going the wrong direction. For some reason. If I had to guess, I think it's backing the filament out. I'll just watch it closely here for a second. I guess I can leave that up. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, that was an old file. I watched it. The extruder motor went the opposite direction. When I tested it from the front panel, it extrudes the correct direction. But that's an older file, so I just restarted the machine. We'll see if that changes anything. But yeah, the extruder motor went the wrong direction. So since it probably actually isn't the filament, I'm going to throw this silver back in here and give that silver another try. Because I don't think it was the filament's fault. Well, I mean, at the very least, at least we know it's nothing wrong with the machine. I don't think it just must be getting incorrect instructions for some reason. Okay, sorry, I'm just purging this. I'm gonna repurge the orange out of this and get the gray loaded, and then we'll try to print an old file. And if that does the same thing, I'll format the SD and try again. Actually, let me take it out and reseed it. Maybe that's something trivial. Okay, so we're good and purged. Let's go to, like, an old reliable file. Let's print a let's print a Batman. Let's print a Batman logo. Something I've printed like 30 of. Uh yeah, thanks Sparky. Sorry if I've been ignoring chat and been kind of like occupied with that. But hopefully it works this time. This isn't exactly what I had intended to do today. But yeah, thanks for the wish of good luck. But yeah, here I'll watch it here and see which way the extruder motor goes. There we go. All right. We're actually doing some 3D printing. But yeah, thanks for being patient, everybody. If you for some reason find me struggling with my 3D printer interesting, go ahead and subscribe if you haven't, because there will be more of it in the future. On average, I do like at least a stream a week, usually two. But yeah, we're finally printing. Holy hell. And I can take back all the mean things I said about Hatchbox. I don't think it was Hatchbox's fault. I think honestly, I think it was just the SD card wasn't seated properly. And we can kill two birds here. I've been wanting to do one of these Batman Batarang things before it does the top layer, so you can get like a sweet view of the infill, because it's just kind of cool to show to people, so they can kind of see how like non-solid 3D prints work. So we'll let this get not that far in. We'll let it get a few layers of the infill started, and then I'll stop it. And then we'll go back to what we were trying to do like 15 minutes ago. And we're trying to print our little cool little whoops. Where's it at here? We're trying to print our cool little token dude here. But yeah, we'll get back to that in a couple minutes here. No, TinkerCAD would be great for kids. I remember, some of you might know this game, some of you might not. Duke Nukem 3D was a really, really cool game when I was younger. It was a really popular game. And I think I was 9. I was 9 years old and was using the build program, which was actually kind of complicated to build levels and stuff. So I would imagine with a little bit of guidance, you could get fairly young kids kind of used to using TinkerCAD and stuff. So that'd be really good to get them started. You played all versions? Yeah. Not a game for kids. I've always been one of those guys. I like, especially with games and stuff, like I like making and modifying games more than I think I actually enjoy playing them. Because like I was talking about earlier, like I'm so freaking competitive. Peanut butter shape, cup shaped token. Okay, damn it. It looks like that filament is printing quite nicely, actually. That first layer looks really good. So I take back all the hurtful words I said about the Hatchbox. That actually looks quite nice. I know you guys can't see it. Like, you can get a better view from the other side, but my camera won't reach, so we'll have to deal with what we have here. I guess I'll shift it. Oh, look. I'll give you a peek. But you can see that first layer looks really good. That's a really clean first layer, so all seems to be well. I need a second camera? No, the problem is, like, I know you can't see it, but the stinking cord here, I don't quite have enough length. It seems to be a recurring issue in life. Waka Waka. Yeah, the freeze gun was pretty cool. That game was just cool in general. I really loved it. That was a really great game. They did the, I don't know if you saw, any of you guys who do know about Duke Nukem, did you see that they did a, like a re-release anniversary edition on Steam? Because I was really excited for it, and then apparently it kind of sucks. Because they did a whole new episode, like a, like how they had the 4 different expansions or episodes or whatever you want to call them. They did a 5th one with some of the original design team, which was kind of sweet. but apparently all the sounds in the game are really low sample rate. Like, it has sweet new music that's like high quality, and then the sample rate on the sound effects is apparently terrible. So I haven't really rushed out and bought it, because most people that did like lengthy reviews said that the I think it was the Atomic Edition, not the Atomic Edition. It was one of the other packs that they did after the Atomic Edition. But apparently people said you're just better off getting that and playing it if you want to play it. Yeah, it had strippers and stuff. And you could make them open their tops up and all kinds of stuff that was super appropriate for a person of my age. That's not any better. Let me fix it. There's so much more to see from that side. But no, Duke 3D was such a great game. And if you ever read the story, like, the guy that made the engine for that was really young. It was kind of a cool story with the build engine and all that stuff. I think Ken Silverman, if I'm not mistaken. I could be misremembering that. But yeah, you can see that it's. I think our settings need tweaked for that filament a little bit, but I think overall it's not bad. I think like most PLAs, the default temperatures that most things are set to might be a little bit hot. This is on 210, and from the printing I've done, like 190 to 200 seems to print best with most PLAs, with a few exceptions. But yeah, I don't know how we got from TinkerCAD to Duke 3D, but yeah, I'd show my daughter TinkerCAD if she was older than 2 years old. Still a little young. Yeah. I could just kind of imagine what my reaction would be as a kid if I could like sit down and do something like this again, this simple little thing we ended up doing here. And to do something like that and then actually like make it, that would have blown my mind. Oh, that's true. I can change the temp. I'll let it go. I do need to reslice this in Simplify now that I have it, because there's some like artifacts in this print that seem to be part of the slicing and not the printer itself. Aaron said I should make her a personalized My Little Pony. I remember Angus on Maker's Muse did a video on that. She'd dig that. I'm not too cool to do something like that. Pretty awesome view you have there. But I know you can't really see it. It's funny, now you need to see the other side, but if you look from the other side, you can see that stripe there on the far side. That seems to happen on all these prints for some reason. So I think it's the slicer. But yeah, we'll stop it after it does a couple layers of this infill. And try to go back to what we were doing in the first damn place. But I'm glad it wasn't something actually wrong with the machine. I actually, my aunt called me the other day and was in a panic. They just bought like out of some high dollar amount smart TV that was like a 56-inch TV and stuff, and it wasn't working right. And I went over and I was looking at it, and I couldn't figure out what was wrong because neither of the remotes, like she had a Comcast remote and then like the remote for the TV, and they seemed to work like intermittently. And I was starting to get worried because she thought it was her cable box, and I was like, oh shit, like your normal remote isn't working right either. I think your TV might be starting to fail or something. I don't know. It was their clock. She had been dusting and moved her clock in front of the IR sensor, and that's all it was. So she was kind of upset, like she felt dumb. But I was just happy because that meant nothing was wrong, and it was kind of like the same with this. I'm just happy nothing was wrong. Yeah, I've noticed like one thing I've noticed already with Simplify 3D that it doesn't have that Slicer actually did. One more layer of infill here and we'll stop it. Is on these little test prints, there are actually like 6 little fins on the side that it uses to test like thin items or thin stuff. And in Slicer, you can set it to kind of detect like really thin items and still print them at the minimum nozzle width. And Simplify 3D doesn't seem to do that. It just ignores them. Like if something's under a certain width, it just ignores it. All right, we'll let it do one more layer. We'll let it do this perimeter, and then I'll stop it. All right, let's get back to business here. But you can see, if you do have a printer, these are cool little prints to have to show like the infill and stuff to just have as like a demonstration piece for people. Because like on this print, there's a little bit of stringing from where it stopped, but no, this is a really cool little piece to have to show to people because it shows like the what's going on. It shows how precise some of the things can be because those infill lines are really clean. But no, overall, this is a nice filament. I feel bad for giving it a hard time there for a little while. Let's see if it was. I'll try to print that last file again, and we'll see if it is a corrupt file or if it's if it was the SD card not being seated. So it'll just take a second to heat up here. Oh, she still has a CRT. It might be time for an upgrade. I have, I guess you can't see it from here, but I do have CRTs because I'm into like retro gaming, all the Nintendos and all that shit. And they're great for that because I have a 44 or 44 inch Sony Trinitron, which are like the they're not the best retro gaming monitor you can have, but they're one of the top 3. So I still have a CRT. Got to be able to play Duck Hunt, man. You can't play Duck Hunt on a freaking LCD. Are those gouges on the bed, or are they bits of silver? They are, like, some of those are... A little bit of it was just dust. But there's a couple marks on there where I just, like, they're just very slight mars in the PEI sheet from prying big flat pieces off. But no, the surface is actually nice and smooth still. Like, you can't see it on the back of prints. You can't see any of those marks. Fingers crossed. It kind of worked. It kind of worked. It didn't seem to, like, activate the extruder motor until it was almost at the end of the purge strip area. But it does seem to be printing now. This will be a fast print, so we'll see what it does. Print it with different infill shapes. Yeah, I want to do a test at some point. I'm kind of shocked at how flexible this PLA is. This is way more flexible than all the other ones I have. This hatch box. That's, like, super flexy. But I wanted to print some, basically some rectangles, maybe about this size, a little bit bigger, and maybe like an inch thick with different infills, and see if any of them were stronger than any of the other ones. No, it did like a ½ inch of the purge strip, so it did squirt a little bit at the end. Now, I know the lighting's kind of bad there. I'll try to fix it. That's a little better. This whole area needs... I need to update things. I have wires everywhere. It's ridiculous. Because I'd like to do I've had people ask about, like, the production process and stuff, and I'd like to do a tour of this area. Because if I turn the camera around, you're probably not going to expect what you'd see if I do. Now that seems to look better. It's doing what it's supposed to do. That's a plus. Oh, you mean, Meester said I printed the other ones 100%, so not a good comparison. No, but still, this is super flexible, and most of the other PLAs are really rigid. Like, this one's kind of... There's no way I could bend that like that with those other ones, and it's not actually, like, stressing it enough to harm... Like, it actually kind of more or less went back to where it was. Super flexible. Yeah, the text might not show good, but if you remember on this one, Joey, it only has a single R in the middle. It doesn't have a recon on it. But yeah, this seems less... Like, I can tell already that this isn't going to shatter like the other PLAs do. Because a lot of the other ones, they don't give much, and then they'll kind of, like, snap all at once. And I can tell this is almost like doing hobby stuff, like polystyrene. How those sheets kind of, like, tear, they don't break. And this feels the same way. But no, I'll be glad if I can get some of these laid out, and especially if I can get away with printing text with some of the smaller nozzles, because the guys at my local hobby shop already said they'd buy sets of these from me. Yeah, the noisiest thing on this printer anymore is that the fan that you can see, the one that's facing you, the smaller one, that 30 millimeter fan is the noisiest part of this printer now. Because even if I turn the mic towards it, like the actual, I don't know if that even made a difference. The actual printing isn't very loud at all. But a big part of that is, I know you can't see these feet that everybody prints, the little damper feet, they make a huge difference. And there's our piece. But the damper feet make a huge difference, and the dryland bearings made a pretty big difference too. So we can bring this over here and look at it. But there it is. Turned out good. That top layer isn't completely. You can see there's some holes in it, but that's with some settings we can change that. But overall, that's a nice clean print. The recess looks okay. Same with the bottom. You can see that there's some gaps. So I have to tweak some settings for this filament, but overall, that's still a nice clean print. Especially the gear parts, the outer edges. Oh, that was just a little bit of stringing on the edge. But no, overall, that's a nice clean print. Especially given the size that it is. But yeah, there we go. So this day wasn't a failure. I was getting worried there with the jams, or what I thought was a jam. But all right, we accomplished something fantastic. Yeah, that's just the 0.4 millimeter that came with the MK2. Like I said earlier, I ordered one of the fun boxes from E3D, so it has like 6 different sizes, like a 0.25, a 0.3, 0.35, a 4, a 6, and an 8. So I'll try this again with like a 0.25, and hopefully that's enough to get nice small details. Maybe clean that top layer up a little bit. But if worse comes to worse, I mean, I do want to get one eventually, but if I have to, I'll get one of the 0.15s for freaking $19. But I think they do. I think they actually do make the fun box. Let me put this up here. We'll actually look, because I actually haven't ventured out. I've been getting everything from Philistruder. Okay, so you can see there the 0.15 is, I don't know why in the hell it's $19. When the other ones are fairly inexpensive, like the 4s are the least expensive, and then they just like creep up, and then jump to $18.99 for some reason for the 0.15s. But no, here's the fun pack, and they do have the hardened steel, but it's $120. So I mean, I guess that is cheaper ultimately, because just the oh, you can't even get it in the 0.15. But it looks like they're $22 a piece. So about 20 bucks. Well, 22 a piece. So you see the fun packs have the 0.5, the 0.3, the 3.5, the 4, the 6, and the 8. So that's what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tips. I mean, I guess that really isn't any savings, honestly, but they do have it. So it is an option, at least, if you want to buy them like that. But It doesn't seem like it's any cheaper than buying them separately, so. But no, that's cool. We accomplished something today. I think they do look cooler in the clear, though. I guess you can't really see the letters in it, though, which kind of defeats the point. Yeah, Joey, that was for the set that included 6 different sizes. Yeah. Which, like I said, they were, what were they here? They're $21.99 normally. So you don't actually get a discount to get, well, I guess what is it? I'm bad at numbers. Well, I'm actually good at math, but I'm, like, when I'm streaming, I can't think straight a lot of the times. So $22. Yeah, you do save like $10. Which is not exciting for 100. To be saving $10 by making a $120 purchase is not the most exciting thing you're going to do with yourself. But yeah, okay. I guess we're going to call it a day at that, because it is almost 6 o'clock already. I need to get some food. But like usual, thanks everybody for coming and hanging out for a little while. This wasn't a super productive stream, but I just wanted to kind of like get in TinkerCAD a little bit, mess around, and try to get some of these, because I have like we talked about the tank and stuff. That's kind of a complex project. But there's some of these simple projects that I've had people asking me to do. And making these yeah, there went the fan. Making these tokens was one of them, so it's kind of cool to get that out of the way. But I don't know. I still think there's a better way to do it than I did. Now that I have the piece in my hand. Like, I think we probably should have I think I should have done the R as a recess. Like, if I'd get rid of this, fill that with a hole, and then do it like this. I think that, well, obviously not the whole way through, but I think that would probably be the better way to do it. I might be able to get away with keeping the tip I have. Like, especially if I don't recess it so far. If I do something like that, and then maybe put like a ring, you know what I mean, like a recessed ring around it, maybe something like that. I could probably get away with doing it a little cleaner than this one turned out. But I still think this was kind of cool. But yeah, Jorg, thanks for stopping by. Like I said, I always do at least one stream a week. I've usually done 2 a week, some weeks 3. And you see, like today, I've been streaming for a little over 3 hours. They usually aren't quick, even though I always sit down and think I'm going to stream for a little while. But yeah, thanks for stopping by. Stop by again sometime, because I'm like always super chatty, so, and I always pay attention to chat. So yeah, if you want to come in and just like talk about some stuff, or usually try to keep it loosely 3D print related, but not always. Like we were talking about Duke 3D and some random stuff today. But yeah, if you'd like to, you can always subscribe. We've kind of reached that point where I'm so like utterly shocked that we're over 600 already that I don't know that I can get any more surprised at this point. So I kind of feel weird asking people to sub, but yeah, like I said, I do at least a stream a week, and I've slowly been transitioning to doing some normal videos because not everybody can sit and listen to me ramble for 3 hours to get some pieces of information. So, but yeah, sub. And if you don't take anything else away from this and you are interested in being part of the MK2 community, I'd recommend joining the Google Hangout that either I or Aaron will probably link here since I mentioned it. But I'd join that group. It's a great source of information if you're into the MK2 at all. And there's always the Facebook group also, but the Google Hangout and the Facebook group are kind of different in nature. The Facebook group is generally people just like showing stuff off for the most part. And the Google Hangout is more like a group of technical guys that are there to answer questions and discuss like the technical aspects of things. So there's a lot of overlap, but they're a little different in nature also. So it's worth checking out if you're going to be either buying an MK2, thinking of buying one, or already own one. But worth checking out. Anyway, I'll quit rambling. I need to go get some food. Thanks everybody for stopping by. Thanks all you guys who are usually always here. It's always cool to have you guys here. And I don't know why I just clicked on that. I think I thought the computer locked up. That would not be a good way to end the stream. But yeah, thanks guys. Thanks for hanging out. We'll probably revisit the TinkerCAD someday, because I'm going to do some of these things on my own. But since I did this on stream, probably in less than a week or so, I'll get those tips in, and we'll try some of those out on stream to see how significant the level of detail difference is. So that'll be cool for me. And oddly enough, I'm really excited to try the 0.8 millimeter one out. I can't even think of what to make with that. So if you guys have some suggestions, you'll have to like hit me up with those. I can't even think of what to do with such a big tip. That's what she said. And I guess we'll end it on that. So thanks guys. I'll see you later. Peace.